So here we have our oats that we're going to be cooking by boiling water. We also have oat milk, brown sugar, flax seeds, pepitas, and raisins. These are all ingredients that you can add to your oats to give it a better flavor. Of course, you can add anything else that you might think is delicious.
Since Miss Brittany shared out all the available ingredients that we can add to our oats, we have to go through the process first. Now we know that oats are a grain. We know that oats are healthy. We know that oats have a lot of fiber, carbohydrates, and protein. But we have to learn to cook them. So what we've done is we started out our pot with 3 cups of boiling water, which I'll go ahead and turn this direction here just for a little bit more safety. And our top of our pan is a little hot, so give me a moment here and I will grab an oven mitt, or a towel rather, to lift the lid. Now we can see that our water is boiling, which is a big part of the process. And we can also see that on the recipe we're using, we're gonna add just a dash of salt. The salt's gonna help with the water, it's gonna help with softening the oats. And now, with our water boiling, we can add our old-fashioned oats. Now keep in mind, there's different kinds of oats. There's instant oats that we can cook in a microwave. There's steel-cut oats, which are similar but slightly different. And old-fashioned oats or rolled oats, which is what we're making today. It's like the good old-fashioned Quaker oat style. So we can see here, if you want to take a look inside of our pot, that the water is still boiling, and we can turn down our heat just a little bit here so we're not over boiling it. We're gonna let this just kind of thicken and come together into a nice warm breakfast grain cereal. And I say cereal because grains, when presented in this format, are often called cereals. So let's give it just a few minutes and see how it turns out. Check back with you in a second. Oh, well, we're back again. And luckily, our timer passed, and it looks like we have some oats that are almost ready here. They're gonna take a few minutes to thicken. But we can see that they've got a nice consistency and that all that water has actually soaked into the oats to make a really delicious grain cereal. So, knowing that we have a fantastic dish, I'm gonna run real quick and grab us a bowl. That way we can mix our ingredients in and we'll get going from there. Check back in a second. Oh, so now that I'm back with our bowl here, I'm gonna take our oat cereal. I'm gonna scoop it right on into our bowl, and we're gonna let it sit for just a moment, kind of thicken up and soak in the rest of that water. But you can see here that we have a very nice mix with these oats. And now we can start having a little bit of fun with what we want to mix in. So I have some of our oat milk, which is also made from oats. And I like my oats a little creamy, so I'm just gonna add a touch of milk. And keep in mind too, that if you are using something like a dairy milk or a soy milk or oat milk, a dairy alternative, you can actually make your oats with milk instead of water. So that's a great option for your recipe if it's something you wanted to try at home. But what I'm gonna do actually is just let this kind of soak in, mix it in ever so gently, and that's just gonna add a nice creamy consistency to our oats. Now, I have these other items here. I have flaxseed, and flaxseed is really good for us. It's very high in fiber, and it's just a generally good thing to add to our diet. So I want to add just a touch of flaxseed today because it's important to think about our health. And something like flaxseed can add a lot of benefits in antioxidants, vitamins and minerals, and other nutrients that we might need. Flaxseed. You may or may not have seen these funny looking green seeds before, but these are called pepitas. And pepitas are very nutty, similar to things like almonds or cashews or peanuts, but they're not actually a nut. They're simply a seed. And these ones are seeds from pumpkins. and they've been roasted. These are unsalted, so they're not, they don't add a salty flavor. You're just gonna get a nice nutty consistency. So I'm gonna add just a touch to my liking of pepitas here, to my oatmeal. So far we have our flaxseed and our pepitas, adding all kinds of vitamins and minerals and nutrients. And lastly, I was very lucky this year that our garden harvested a ton of raisins. We have jars and jars and jars of delicious raisins. So I'm gonna take some of our delicious ESY raisins here, and I'm gonna add these to our oatmeal. How many of you have ever had an oatmeal raisin cookie? Well, this oatmeal might taste just a little bit like that because the oats, the raisins, and here comes the best part. An essential ingredient for cookies is brown sugar, but an essential ingredient for Mr. Jeff's oatmeal today, also brown sugar. So we're gonna add just a touch of our brown sugar. So I've got a tablespoon right here, and I think 1 tablespoon should be more than enough for us to be able to enjoy this really, really delicious oat dish and sweeten it up just a touch. So we can go ahead and take a look here at our mixture in this oatmeal. We've added all of our additional ingredients, and now we're just gonna start folding it together into a nice mix. Getting all of that evenly distributed between each one. My goodness, this is just delicious looking. I really hope you can all make some delicious oatmeal in your own homes to try. Very good. All right. So as you can see, the process to making our own oatmeal is pretty simple. It really only requires 3 total ingredients. Your oats, in this case old-fashioned oats, water, and salt. Very small amount of salt, just to help with the cooking process. One really handy thing to remember about oats is that oat to water should be a 1:2 ratio. So a 1 part oat to 2 parts water. So if we're using 1 cup of oats, we're using 2 cups of water, especially stovetop preparation. Might be a little different if you're using an instant oat, something that you might use in your microwave, or a steel cut oat, which is a little bit heavier and requires a little more time than our old-fashioned oats. But one thing we can rest assured at is that our oats are going to be good. So what I want to do is I want to scoop out some of these oats here, right onto this plate. There we go. Look at that. And I'm going to blow on them because they look real hot. Now, if other people were eating these oats, I wouldn't blow on them, but because it's my personal serving, I'll go ahead and do that today. But let's give it a bite and see how it goes. That is oat the charts. No, it was off the charts really though. Sorry, Mr. Jeff and his dad jokes. But at the end of the day, you have a simple, quick, and easy preparation for a great, healthy breakfast that really serves us well during the winter time. So if you want a breakfast, as my grandma said, that's gonna stick to your ribs, oatmeal's the one. Thanks for joining in today, kiddos. We'll see you next time.